This is Lady Myya with Reggie Rusk with a conversation already in progress.
School, their coaches are usually white. And and trust me, all my role models were coaches. I've had several of them that really made a big impact in my life, and they were white too. But white men can't always understand the plight of a black student, what they go through, and how they think, and where they came from. You can empathize, but you will never fully, totally understand. That's why there is a need for more black role models that are not, just rappers and just athletes. Um, the kids need to see business people. They need to see success outside of athletes and entertainment. For sure.
Mhm. For sure. And I mean, if they were to only just be a mentor to the kid, you don't have to have a whole lot. Do anything. It's just like, okay, you're the janitor. I saw a story not that long ago where this janitor decided to help children pay for their books when they went to college. Like, he was a janitor, he wasn't making a whole lot of money. He said him and his wife decided these kids deserve, help when, when they could. And I think that was just such a strong thing to even say in our community. It don't take much. Yeah, it might not be monetary. It can just be the support, and just showing them that, look, you did something good, let me help you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean. That's what it's all about. For me, for sure. Nolan and I have talked about doing like a boys retreat where we take the kids and we take them out to a ranch weekend, and just show them things that they normally wouldn't see. Because I was fortunate enough. It's crazy, like all my friends growing up when I was real young were white, and they would have these church groups, and that was the first time that I think I left home, like went on a trip. It was with them. The church trips, they would take us. They ran track. They had a basketball group. So all of these things really helped me because I was able to, at a young age, see all of this stuff. And
Hmm.
we wasn't thinking black, white, any of that stuff, right? But when I was a senior in high school, I didn't have any college offers, and I was a really good athlete. I was voted most athletic in the whole school, right? So, but it's weird. Like, I didn't have any offers to go to college, and um, luckily for me, we got a new coach in my senior year, and he called me into his office, and he was like, hey, do you I feel like you can play at the next level. I feel like you can play college ball. You're good enough. You're a good kid. All of that. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll play. Not thinking, just naive, right? And he was like, well, I have a friend up in California, and I will reach out to him if you're interested in going up there. And I was like, again, naive. I'm not even thinking California. Like, I don't even know if I thought where California was. I was just like,
Right.
okay. And so we made a highlight tape, and sent it up there. And the coach got back to us, and they were not even really looking for my position. And it's amazing how God really intersects and works, right? They were not looking for another person to play the position that I would have played, but he looked at one play on that video, and it was really a very meaningless play, right? Like, I had so many other plays that any school would have been like, wow, this kid can play. But it was the
Right.
one play that he said, wow, if you play that hard on a play like this, we'll bring you out here.
There you go.
And that was how I ended up, you know, being able to attend college, and not really even understanding everything that was coming. But, I whenever I talk to kids, I always stress, the point of you have to go hard at everything you do. Take pride in what you're doing at all times, because I've had the opportunity to play at the highest level, and a couple times it was because of one play. One play. Just think, if you didn't go hard that one play, you wouldn't have got that opportunity. And it's amazing to me, like how people come into your life for a certain reason, and because of your character and because of who you are and because of what you put out into the universe, those people take a chance on you. And we all need just one opportunity to make changes of our lives. So that's the amazing part about it.
That's how it's supposed to be done, right? If only I feel like this. You were able to put yourself out there. You were able to just be like, you know what, if I go hard, something has to happen. At least, in your mind, it's just like, okay, nope, I'm playing the game. I'm playing the game. I'm playing the game. But you had such a passion for it, people saw. And that's what it was, that kind of like, you were able to basically get those things to attract to you, specifically because of how hard you played and how passionate you were about the plays. Let me ask you this real quick question. Would you say that it was something in the team spirit? Would you say that it was just your drive? Would you say it was just the people that were around you that believed in you, that got you going?
I never give myself a lot of credit, but I'm gonna do it this time. It was definitely my passion. My passion, everything that I did, I wanted to be great at it. I wanted to work hard. I never wanted to finish last in anything. Even if I wasn't really good at something, you wouldn't have been able to tell that I wasn't good at it. So even when I ran track, like, I wasn't really a 400 runner, right? But because I'm so competitive that no one knew that I was not really a good 400 runner, because I was going to compete and I was going to place every time. And I knew I wasn't really good at it. And it's weird, like, even in track, I've had guys beat me in running, and I was pretty fast. They beat me in running, but the coach put me in. Now, you're supposed to have your fastest people on a relay, but he put me in because he knew no matter what happens, Reggie is going to go hard the whole way. You know what I mean? You could have a guy that's faster than you, but the first thing that goes wrong, what is he going to do? He's going to self-destruct. That wasn't me. So, it's always been the passion that I had, and having great character is another thing that I think is overlooked, because when you have character and people can see that you're genuine about everything, even at the highest levels, like when I got drafted to play in the NFL, I wasn't that good at cornerback. I wasn't, because I never played cornerback. So I'm a football player. You put me somewhere, I'm gonna go hard, I'm gonna perform well. I was a player, but I never, when you get to that level, it's about technique, it's about understanding the position. I didn't understand the position because I had never played it. But because I went so hard and I was so relentless while I was there, and I gave 150 every play, I beat out people who played the position their whole entire lives. Yeah. So that's, it's all about mindset. It's about how you go into a situation. Are you going to be, negative when adversity comes, or are you going to continue to be who you are, the true person that you are, and just go hard and let the chips fall? And that's what I was.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So, like, okay, tell me, like, basically, when did you start playing football?
I started playing football when I was about, I think, 9, 10, maybe. Yeah.
So was that your choice, or was that made for you?
No, it was funny. Like one of my friends came over and he was like, "Hey, you want to play football?" And I'm thinking he's talking about going outside and playing football. He actually took me to sign up for the youth team. His I can't remember if it was his dad, his mom, but I went with him and I ended up signing up. My mom, I don't even think my mom knew that I was gonna be signing up for football. Like I literally thought we were going to play football outside, right? And that's when I initially started playing football. I played like 2 years and didn't play anymore. And then the next time I played was like junior high.
Nice.
And back then I really didn't think about the NFL. Um, I was one of those kids that like watched the NFL like faithfully. Like I knew all of the players on the Cowboys and all of this stuff. So, but I never really thought of myself playing football.
Right.
Because I didn't have a mentor or a person at a young age that was like, hey, you should be doing A, B, C, D to do if you want to be this. I didn't think about that stuff. And until that coach called me into his office, I didn't even think about playing college football, to be honest with you. So that's the, the inspirational part of it all is one person can change your whole perspective. Like what happens if this man wouldn't have called me in his office and said, I believe that you can play college football. I don't even know.
It happens that way, doesn't it? Like I think it's like one of those things where everybody can see it but you.
Yep.
At the time. Or you weren't thinking about it. You're like, you know what, I'm just having fun. I'm playing, I'm playing and doing something that I really love to do, and you have such a high passion for it. And everybody saw it, it's just like radiating off of you, which is awesome. And then it just allowed you to go forward. Like everything else just kind of popped into place for you.
Yeah.
So when you went to the schools and you got your scholarship, what school was that?
So I started off, I went to a city college up in San Francisco. So, going back, why education is so important. All right. When I was in high school, again, not having those people, and that coach came to my life my senior year. If it's your senior year, it's late in the game as far as your academics, right? Not saying that I didn't pass all my grades, but I didn't take the required courses to even go to a big school. So that's another area where there's a letdown right there. And so I went to a junior college because it's a lot easier to enroll into a junior college. And there was no scholarship. It was Pell Grant, and we had to work. Luckily, we didn't have to. We stayed. The coach had rental property, so we had to actually pay rent. So in order, to stay there and everything. So it allowed me to grow up. And going out to California, it forced me to grow up because I couldn't come home when I wanted. So even if you were homesick, even if you were like, oh man, I can't do this, which many days were like that, couldn't just come home. It's not, we didn't have cell phones and all of these technology and stuff, but man, it was the best decision that I made in my life because, again, another coach or an adult saw something in me that I didn't even know that I possessed. I went up there and Coach Rush, like I didn't even know at the time, I just knew he just like really saw something in me, right? And he would come pick me up on Saturdays and he would show me his rent houses, and he was just a great guy, man. Like, because we had kids from Florida, we had kids from Kentucky, and we had like a lot of kids from Texas that came down to play. And man, that was my first experience with camping. He took us all camping. It was like that father figure that many of us didn't have, and he just saw something in us. So he just really saw something in me because he would come pick me up, show me about like business and ownership and entrepreneurship. without even really thinking it. I don't even know if he knew that's what he was doing, but it really sparked something in me. And to this day, man, we're like this. Like I call him, we talk all the time. Like he's one of the people that really, when I got into coaching, I just, everything that he did, that's what I tried to implement into my program, because it works. When you become a mentor more so than a coach, kids are gonna do whatever you need them to do. And you're trying to make them successful. You're trying to help them be as successful as possible. And the only thing that they think of is, I wanna make coach proud. I wanna make coach proud. But in actuality, they are making themselves proud at the end of it.
Right.
And I think that's what Coach Rush really did for me. And I don't, at the time, of course, I didn't know, because I remember like, man, why he wants me to come drive with him and do all these things, right? I was naive. I'm like 18 years old. I didn't know any better, but he saw something in me. And when I became a lot older, I recognized it now, that he saw something special in me, and he helped me a lot. And it's amazing when someone comes into your life and they believe in you, and you have, like I said, the character, because that's so important, because people don't pour into you if you don't have, those qualities. So, when I went to California, man, he made it a lot better, even though like we didn't have money, like it was rough, but he definitely made it a lot better for us.
That's awesome. So the state recruited, like when did you start that?
So 2018 is, when I retired from football, I was injured in 2000, tore my knee up real bad. And then I ended up getting a staph infection in the knee, which it just, I couldn't even perform the way that I was performing at first. So, at the time I was really okay with it, because I felt like I was smart enough to be able to do my own thing. So in my mind, I had this thought of stay recruited, but I didn't know it wasn't stay recruited at the time. It was like play for success, because I always thought like, okay, why do we play sports? We play for some type of success, whether it's winning a medal, whether it's standing on that podium, Olympics, whatever the case may be. We play for success for most of us, right? So that was the thought in my head. And I was like, I want a place where it's just one-stop shop for an athlete. We're going to take care of their education. We're going to do this. We're going to mentor and all of these things. So that was like in my head, ever since I had retired. But then I needed to make money. So I started another business. I started a couple friends of mine. We did a limousine service for a while, and the partnership didn't work out. So I did that for about 7 years. And then I just got burnt out. I was like, man, this is not me. I don't like dressing up. I don't like all the regulations with the city of Houston. This is just like not my passion.
Right.
So one of my friends, he made a comment, and it's funny. I rarely listen to this dude, because he's just like all over the place. Like we can have good conversation, but a lot of his theories and ideas are like, I don't pay attention to him.
We all had
those. Yeah. So he said something that really resonated with me. He was like, man, you went to college and you played at the highest level. You were like one of the best players, on your team. You went to the NFL, and then you don't even use it. And I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, it stuck with me. So I went home and I was like, man, that is so true. Like, I went to the NFL. Like, I never put myself on that pedestal at all,
Right.
And I was like, I need to help people. I need to, use what I was blessed with and help other people. So I started like working with guys. I used to play basketball all the time, and I would always mentor some of these younger guys. I was older than they were, and I would always mentor them. And I would work kids out for free. And then I was like, okay, I made the big leap, and I got some business cards made, and I put my football picture on a flyer, and I started handing them out. And, people started calling, and, one thing led to another. I started actually just training kids. And one of my clients, he was like, "Man, you're really good at this." He's like, "You need to have your own building." And I was like, And I've always been very conservative, with money and spending it and all that stuff. So he's like, "Man, what you do for these kids, like, you need to have because I was traveling all over the place." He said, "You need to be in one place." He said, "If you want, man, I'll help you." He said, "I'll help you, but you need to open your own business so you can be there with these kids because you are exactly what they need." And that was the first time again, like, I'm like, what? Not thinking. And that's when I opened up my first gym. And I've been doing that ever since. It was like, that is a natural calling. And now I'm kind of like, with the Stay Recruited, now it's another progression to the training, right? Training is the smallest aspect of it all. Like, the mental preparation and understanding what these kids really need. So a lot of these guys are out here just taking money. And that's the unfortunate thing that happens when you're poor or you don't have a high education. And some of the parents, I'm not saying they don't have education, they just don't know the process. That's when the vultures come in, and that's when people can take advantage of you and have you paying crazy amounts of money thinking that your kid is going to be the next great whatever. The reason why many people don't make it is not because they're not athletic enough. It's because all of the adversity, the things, the pitfalls that go on along the way, those are the things that keep them from succeeding. Getting the girl pregnant, hanging out with the wrong people. Those are the things that derail more careers than anything, So that's why Stay Recruited is so vital to a lot of people, because you're talking about us teaching them how to take the SAT and ACT, the mentoring for sure, understanding from the 8th grade all the way to the 12th grade, what classes should you be taking right now? Mm-hmm. Talking to your counselor. See, when I was in school, I didn't have core classes to require to even go to college, right? So a lot of kids don't understand what core GPA is. They look at their overall GPA. You need your core requirements to get into college. So all of these things they need to know, and the parents need to know. And I'm big on entrepreneurship. If I'm going to struggle, I'm going to struggle going at my pace, working for myself, and making it, and spending that time with my family. And that's what I decided to do when I started, my own businesses. So I've never really worked for anybody. Mm-hmm. And I, like I said, it's just like being on a football field. You're gonna go hard. You're gonna go hard for your family. That's my team. That's who I'm gonna, run through walls for.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Wow. You know what? I got questions. Like, because it's like with everything that you do, because even you talking right now and everything and just how you're talking and different things like that, I feel mentored myself. I just feel like, all right, coach, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Because like you have such a very, very just awesome tone for people to understand that, look, you don't have to be loud, you don't have to be all extra, you don't have to be all the stuff that's already out here. You need to just have a decent foundation. And I think just dealing with you allows for that foundation to be better grounded, so when those storms come through, they still have that foundation and they can block that pass and they can keep it moving and, they can run fast through like these treacherous winds. And I think that is such a great thing for you and like how you do things. It's just so interesting to me because I'm like, this guy could be like somebody pastor or something. Like, I just feel like there is something to be said about how you speak and, the willingness for people to really hear what you have to say, because you are so well knowledgeable, and you don't talk like some of these guys out here, oh yeah, I know this and I knew that and I did this and I did that, and it's just like,
Nah.
whose booty are you
That's the
blowing
quickest
smoke
way to
up, sir?
that's the quickest way to turn people off. I mean, I think, if I've always had, so when you're, this, when you're an entrepreneur, you have to sell yourself, right?
Yeah.
One thing I hate is someone trying to sell me.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, if it's something that I like, I want it, right? But then you get the pushy salesman that comes along and he's trying to sell me. But if you come to me genuinely and you tell me about whatever it is that I'm trying to buy, and you're, just a decent person, you don't have to sell me. I'll probably buy it just because I like you. So as an entrepreneur, I've always had to sell myself, as far as when I talk to somebody on the phone and they're talking about their kid, it's a done deal. Like, because once they talk to me, I'm not selling them that, oh, I was all American, I'm this, I'm that. No, I'm not selling you on that, because it's not about what I've done for myself personally. It's about what I can do for your kid. And I promise you, you bringing your kid to me, he's going to be a different person leaving. And it's just not about athletic, because for me, this is bigger than athletics, because one day your son or daughter is going to hang up those cleats and they're not going to play anymore. What mark are they going to leave? I talk about leaving a legacy. Like, they have to understand, like, it's so much bigger than the 4 years, whatever it is that you're going to be playing that sport. So much bigger than that. What are you going to do in your community? I have my kids, they do community service. I got several kids that trained with me in high school, and I had them coaching. So they would coach the younger kids during camps and everything. A few of those guys are now coaches in college. So it's the program. I mean, it works. And I have relationships with all of them still. Like, even if we're just on social media and we hit each other up, some of my kids are even recruiting some of the kids that I work with now. When I thought about this whole thing, that's what it was about. It was about, how can I infuse sports and community and, mentorship? How can I fuse all of those things together and make a full circle? So having kids that went through the program, they went to college, they have careers, and now they're back, giving back to the community. Because once they give a kid a scholarship from where we are, that's giving back to the community,
It really is. It is.
Yeah, so that was the goal. Now I'm at the point where I'm like ready to blow this thing up and really partner with people who have the same vision. That's why me and Nolan gets along so well, because genuine people know other genuine people. Like, if Nolan was a bunch of, like, just out here just scamming people, talking a good game, oh man, I would have been gone. I wouldn't mess with him. But he's a genuine person. And I know genuine people, and that's the circle that I want to be around, because when you're around the right people, man, you can change a lot of lives. And for us, that's what it all boils down to. We're Black men that we need to change the lives of a lot of these other Black kids, because what they see on TV is not reality, and they don't understand that it's not reality. So that's the importance of having people like us to be in their lives.
That's true. So when are you going to get the campus to be next to this this spot that you got? Because I feel like I'm like, if only guys had the opportunity that you had when you went to the junior college, to have, pay that rent and get still the training and the mentorship that, you know, they can just kind of hone in on, but I still need to pay my bills. I still need to do blah, 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 everything to kind of make it to where I can make it on my own at my own pace with the knowledge that I have from my mentor. I think that was a moment in your time zone or in your time frame that can actually benefit you and benefit the guy going forward.
Yeah, so right now, you know, COVID kind of just disrupted everything. So when I first got into the gym, it was, oh, again, it was God's intervention. Like, it was funny. Like, I was living in Sugarland, but I would travel back and forth every day.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I passed by this gym, and I was like, let me go and speak to the guy and see if I can train some of my high school athletes in here, and I'll just pay him. And he was like, yeah. So we worked out a deal, and then within about a month or so, I didn't know that he was in trouble with his rent. So that became my gym within a few weeks. So it's like all of these interventions happened in my life because God wanted to intersect me or place me somewhere, right? And so my goal is to open up a facility that has the training, but I want after school program. I want the kids to come directly after school. So we're gonna eliminate parents having to pay for daycare afterwards, right? So the kids that come here, I've already talked to teachers, so now it's just a matter of finding a place where it's big enough, and we're trying to get grants. So if anyone that watches your show is a grant writer, I've been really on a search for a grant writer who wants to be a part of the program and can write themselves into grants and things of that nature. I ain't trying to take advantage of anybody, but I don't want to pay someone for not, not getting a grant either, right?
Right.
But so having the program where it's all under one roof, where we have teachers and tutors at the facility. So when they get out of school, they come there. They take care of whatever homework that they have, and then they go through their training regimen. Now, the whole program is set up with tutoring, and it's with entrepreneurship. All of those business services that we already do with Nolan. I take some of my kids to Nolan's Up Social, because at the end of the day, you want to surround yourself by people who can inspire you. And whenever I took my kids to Up Social, they were inspired because all of these people were talking about their book that they wrote, their business. Like, that's inspiring, right? So we are going to have all of those things under one roof, right? Like everything. So when kids leave out of there, man, it's not just about, oh, I'm going to Coach Reggie to train. Like, they know that, I've gotten everything that I can possibly get out of this program. Like, and they're building relationships with local businesses. So once they graduate from school, they have relationships with local businesses. So if they need a job, they need an internship, who's going to get the internship? They're going to get it because they already have a relationship. So that was all, my thought process early on with our programs. So that's all I'm kind of still working on now, as far as getting everything together. And now I just became a bestseller a couple weeks ago. So that's that's pretty much a leverage thing for me. It was something that I wanted to do, and I accomplished it. And I'm already thinking about the next book that I want to write. But that was for me to leverage that. So now I can show kids, hey, if you want to be a writer, I have someone that you can work with that can help you with that. So really getting people, or getting kids and their parents, to think bigger than what they probably thought of before.
True.
And that's what it all boils down to.
That's very true. Wow. I love I love that passion, and I see that, and I see it just, I mean, sir, when it explodes, just don't forget the little people. That's all I'm
Oh no.
saying. Certainly. Okay, so the name of the book is?
It's the recruiting playbook. Um, I I wrote down a lot of different strategies that, any kid and their parent could pick up the book and figure out these strategies, um, starting like eighth grade, and we just give them strategies and bullet points where they need to just follow. And by the time your senior year comes, after you follow all of the strategies, your chances, we're not guaranteeing someone is going to get a scholarship because it ultimately comes down to how you play. But there's a ton of kids who are able to play like myself, but just slip through the cracks. So these bullet points or these strategies are going to help you market yourself, because so many kids wait until their junior year and they're like, no schools are trying to recruit me. What can I do? It's too late. Well, it's not too late. I'm not going to say it's too late, but think about if you started in the eighth grade, academic parts, the things that you can do, and you're ready. So when you step foot onto your high school campus, you're already thinking, okay, these are the things that I need to do starting off from the gate. And then junior years, senior year, you follow this thing by the number, right? Your chances are that much greater that you're going to get that opportunity. And the crazy thing about it, when coaches, athletes are apples to apples. I mean, it's really that simple. Like, you got one guy might be a little bit faster, but this guy does this better. Like, when a coach is weighing a scholarship, if my kid has been through my program and he has all his grades, he does community service, he does all of these other things, guess what? The scales start to tip his way. Because if we were just athletic talent, then maybe it's like a little harder to decide. But my kid is going to be here. Because he's gonna have all of those things that I know college coaches are looking for.
Yeah.
So it's like the cheat sheet.
It is.
I look at it as a cheat code.
The hack. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
That is awesome. Where can we get that book?
You can order it. It's on my website. And right now it's in pre-order, and we will be getting the copies in and mailing them out pretty soon here. We're on Amazon, but that's just the ebook. But we're gonna do autographed copies with the paperback. So that was very exciting for me, because once again, it all comes to mindset, right? Like, I grew up in a single parent household. Dad was around but wasn't around. Really no male guidance, right? And I changed my mindset. Things that I didn't think and believe that I could do, I've accomplished and done all of them. And for me, it's like, okay, what next can I do? I don't look at something that I feel like I can't do anymore. Like, sometimes we feel like, man, that's just way out of our range, our reach, not me. I really don't think that there's nothing that I cannot do, and, I wrote the book, and I would say probably like 8-9 years ago, I was talking about, man, I want to write a book. And it was just like a thought, right? And now I was able to accomplish that. And now I'm thinking about the next book that I'm going to write. So when I speak to people, it's all about mindset. Like, your mindset really dictates what you ultimately become. True. Because if you don't believe that you can achieve great things, you will never achieve great things. But if you believe, like, and work hard, no matter how much adversity you go through, and you still believe, you're going to accomplish those things, so that is huge for me. Like, that book, holding it in my hand, it really did something when I actually put it in my hand, because it's like, wow, I'm not even a writer, but I'm a bestseller. You know,
That's
crazy.
real right there. Real
Yeah,
beget real, right?
yeah.
Now, I got a quick question. What's the website? What are we doing here?
It's the THE studentathlete.org. Thestudentathlete.org. We're,
Wow.
we're working on I'm working on a scholarship fund too for student athletes. So we have a lot of athletes that don't get full rides. Every school doesn't offer full rides, or every sport doesn't offer full rides. So, you know, like I have volleyball players or softball players who, girls sports are so different because they go in, they know that there's not an NFL at the end of it. So they go in knowing I got to get this degree. They are a little bit better prepared than boys. But a lot of times they don't get full rides. So parents still have to come up with money. I don't want anyone having to, because it's all an illusion. Like you go to school and you get these loans and it takes you forever to pay those loans back. So if we can go to school and not have a drop of debt afterwards, man, that is awesome. So what I'm working on now is an athlete fund where we're gonna spotlight some student athletes who are going to school. They have a partial scholarship and they may need $4,000 or whatever the case may be to finish and create and make that a full ride. So what we're going to do is we're going to spotlight those athletes, and we're going to create a fund, athlete fund for them. So we'll have them write, you know, who they are, what are they doing, what do they need the money for, all of that essay. And once we spotlight it, we're going to connect people who want to donate and help each of those kids out to finish that scholarship off, so that they can actually go to school and not worry about debt. A lot of times, man, kids go to school for a semester and they have a partial scholarship and they can't figure out how to make enough money to continue to go. I want to be able to end that. Like, if we can help those kids go to school and help them pay off the rest of that, where they don't have that debt, and that would be awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're working on now, is this athlete fund. And you know, it's just like I said, just continuing full circle to be a beacon of hope for people who, you know, sometimes are hopeless. Just change their mindset, change the way of thinking, and all of that.
Yes. Okay. I'm sold. I'm ready to go. I can't run as good as I used to. I used to do cross country, but you know I can't do that no more. But at the same time, I'm so appreciative of just you wanting to help. You know, you wanting to just push forward and make it easier for other people, especially the guys. You know, the guys in our community, you know, they need this. I only wish that we can clone you and put you in every state so that we can get these boys off the streets
But you
and
know
doing
what?
something positive.
There's a lot of positive people out there that feel the same way that I do. They don't get the spotlight, they don't get the recognition, but there's a lot of guys in neighborhoods battling. And you know, it's a uphill fight because you got more negative people than you have, you know, that are influences. I ain't saying it's more negative people, it's just more negative influences. That it's like sweets, right? Like, you got the fruit over here and you got the cookie. The cookie is just like, oh my God, I want that cookie.
I need that cookie.
The apple is good, but I want the cookie, right? And I think for our kids, that's what it is. It's the decision between the fruit and the sweets.
Mm-hmm.
And the
That's
streets
true.
are the sweets.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
seems so glamorous, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I was in college, I would come back home and it seemed like all my friends were just having so much fun.
Right.
I feel like man, I'm in school and and they look like they're just having a ball. Like, but that's what these kids have to deal with. Like the drug dealer who's driving the nicest cars, he's got all these girls, all over the place for him, and he's wearing the best clothes, and you're sitting there like, I'm broke, I'm in school, like, we have to help those kids make that decision. Like the streets are not where it's at. I don't know how many friends. I got a couple friends that are dead. I got a few of them that went to prison. Like, the story. It's like that in every place.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look back at it, yeah, I was at school struggling, but I didn't go to prison. I wasn't a statistic.
Yeah.
1 out of 3 black men are going to go to prison. So, that's bigger to me than anything.
Yes, how about that? But you know what? I think it would be so awesome if you were to like reach out to those particular people, in different states and whatnot that are like-minded individuals, like such as yourself, to start, some type of, grassroots situation where you can all come together, and by them seeing such the united front on what needs to be done in the communities, I think it would just be that much more powerful,
Yeah.
and so, man, dude, Reggie, I'm just saying, I think you're spot on for everything that you're saying, and how different things have to kind of happen, and they happen for you for such a reason. This reason is something that someone else or plenty of other people are seeing that can be accomplished, if only with that passion and the understanding, and just the willingness to just keep going and just doing good for everyone else, and not really thinking that much of yourself. That's why those doors keep opening up, sir.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, sir, because you have been on it. Okay, I'm just saying, you've been on it. I love the fact that everything you said, I don't know if you even saw, I was just like, okay, just keep talking, because you do have such a passion about you, and it just radiates through anything that you probably do at this point. But definitely appreciate your energies and your time and just your words. Your words were just the nourishment that was needed. Certainly.
I want to be on.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me, Lady Myya. And you know what? This is just a learning experience for most of us. Okay, I'm telling y'all, this brother is the truth. And y'all gonna find out. Just get his book. Go on his website. Gave us all the information, definitely. And I want to say thank you, Myya Tribe. If y'all know someone that have children and they really want to do something, you might want to get this book, or you want to follow this brother, because he is doing, what other people you may not have access to are doing to help our youth. And we do need that in this day and age, more so than ever, really. Thank you so much for your time and your energies, and joining me, Lady Myya, living your best life. And we will talk to you guys later.